Hello, and welcome to episode 212 of The Amy Ahlers Show. All show notes and links from today's episode can be found at amyahlershow.com/212. Remember, The Amy Ahlers Show is especially for ambitious, soulful, powerful women that are ready to stop being so darn hard on themselves. Women that are ready to release that toxic habit of self-bullying. And most important, women that are ready to embrace the brilliance and truth of their inner wisdom. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about what to do when someone else's success or happiness triggers the living daylights out of you. This is something that I recently spoke at my Powerful Women and Self-Bullying keynote, which I recently did at a Professional Businesswomen of California event at Charles Schwab. It was so awesome. There was a few hundred women in the room ready to bust through that self-bullying. And I love talking about this topic of how someone else's success, their beauty, their sexiness, their happiness can trigger us and what that really means. So today I'm going to reveal a fascinating study that illustrates how darn hard women are on not only themselves, but actually are on other women. I'm sure you've noticed this phenomenon and what you can actually do when that green-eyed monster of jealousy creeps into your life and how to start really being a woman's woman. Right? Being a woman that actually builds up other women, a woman that is a true friend to other women, and a woman who gets inspired by other women. Okay, so picture this. You're at a party. Maybe we're here in the summer months here in, if you're listening to this when this show goes live, we're in the summer months here in beautiful Northern California. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. The weather's gorgeous. So maybe you're at a summer barbecue and in walks an attractive, dare I say, sexy woman. She's dressed to perfection. I don't know. I'm picturing like a woman that has on one of those fabulous rompers and is like working it. And then you hear her getting introduced by another guest, and then you realize not only is this woman gorgeous, but she's also wickedly smart and incredibly successful. How do you feel about yourself in that moment? I've worked with so many women over the last 2 decades of being a life coach, and I'm here to tell you, if you're like the vast majority of women, you're likely going to get triggered and even have that impulse to start pulling that other woman down, right? To start really tearing that other woman apart. What is that about, ladies? What is it about when we see a woman that comes into the room that is amazing, that looks amazing, that's doing incredible things in the world, that we have this knee-jerk reaction to start tearing that other woman down? I know this to be true, that first of all, I'll tell you, it's not you that wants to tear it down. It's your inner mean girl, 100%, that inner critic inside of you that is jumping into the comparison queen, inner mean girl archetype. Yes, at Inner Mean Girl Reform School, we've uncovered 13 different Inner Mean Girl archetypes, and you can learn about your Inner Mean Girl archetype at freeinnermeangirlquiz.com. Free Inner Mean Girl quiz, where you can take a little quiz to discover which Inner Mean Girl archetype is ruling the roost inside your head. Now, the Inner Mean Girl comparison queen archetype is brutal. She loves to compare your worst to everyone else's best, right? She's the one that can really start tearing you down when an incredible, successful, wonderful woman walks into the room. So she starts tearing you down, and then what do? We want to turn on that other woman. But I'm here to tell you, if you're ready to turn on another woman, you've already turned on yourself in some way, shape, or form. This is important. I'm going to say that again. If you are ready to turn on another woman or turn on anybody, your husband, your boyfriend, your brother, your mother, your father, whoever it is, if you are ready to turn on anybody in your life, you've already turned on yourself. Because when we are connected to our inner wisdom, when we are connected to self-love, we don't actually need to tear anybody else apart. Now, I promised that I'd reveal a study. I think the study is fascinating. It's called The Intolerance of Sexy Peers, Intrasexual Competition Among Women Study. Say that fast, 20 times, by Valancourt and Sharma. So you can look that up, Intolerance of Sexy Peers. You can Google it if you want to learn more about the study. Maybe I'll post a link in the show notes for you to that study. And basically what this study shows is that when meeting an attractive woman, 85% of the female subjects gave their peer a critical once over and made harsh comments about her appearance. Really interesting, right? Whew, harsh comments, gave her a once over and made harsh comments about her appearance. That means they spoke those things out loud, right? And so I think that I know that you know this to be true, whether you're on the receiving end of this, because you have walked into a room and felt like everybody's giving you once over and saying something negative about you. I've been in that situation myself. Or you're the one that's dishing it out. And yep, I'm raising my hand. I've been there myself too. Whether you're a middle schooler that's doing it to another girl or a grown-ass woman that's doing it to other women, this happens all the time. Now, if you do research and you look at books like The Female Brain, right? Fascinating study on how the female brain differs from the male brain. But, you know, for us, women in particular have a really strong negativity bias in our brains. We are constantly on the lookout for the one berry that's poisonous instead of the 100 that aren't, right? So we actually have this bias in our brains that is going to push us into that space of competitiveness and comparison. And when you even look at the journey over the last, say, 100 years of being a woman, wasn't all that long ago, ladies, that not only do we not have the right to vote, we didn't have the right to own land. We didn't have a right to actually open up a bank account in our name. So when we look at the lineage, the shoulders that we are standing upon as women here in the beautiful year of 2018, right? We are standing upon generations of women that came before us, our ancestors that came before us, that were not able to own land unless they were somehow tied to a man. So you can bet your bottom dollar that when an attractive woman walks into the room, we, for survival, needed to step up the game and make sure that we could get a man in the room, attract a man in the room, so we could eat, so we could own land, so we could survive in this crazy world of ours. Really wasn't all that long ago. So we're carrying with us in our, what do I want to call it? The part of the reptilian brain. Thank you very much. Thank you, world. Right? The reptilian parts of our brains that still has this huge negativity bias. It has us being competitive with other women. When, ladies, we can open our own bank account now. We can own land. We can have the jobs. Thank you very much. We don't need a man for that. And thank goodness, because I know a lot of you don't even want a man in your life at all. You're not attracted to them romantically, right? So thank goodness for women in general. And for those of you, my listeners, that have, that aren't even attracted to the male gender, thank God that you can do whatever the hell you want. But we still have these things going on in our brain. So no wonder that when an attractive woman walks into the room, no wonder when we find out that a woman is really smart, is really successful, is on her game, that we have that tendency inside our brains to want to tear that other woman down. So here's what I want you to do. When you feel that tinge of jealousy, when you feel that comparison creeping in that's making you feel like crap or even aggressive towards another woman, I want you to stop, drop, and tune into your inner wisdom and see what is inspiring about her. Turn your jealousy or your envy into inspiration. Transmute your aggressiveness, that primal desire to bring her down, into admiration. Get curious about what that desire is underneath. Because here's the thing. What if you have a trigger showing up? There is a desire in there. When you're triggered by another woman's success, beauty, power, amazingness, get curious about the inspiration. What is inspiring about that woman? What is the desire that is underneath the trigger? Here's what I know to be true. If you want to feel healthier or feel sexier in your body, healthy, sexy women are going to probably trigger you. If you want to have more financial freedom, wealthy women will likely trigger you. If you want to have more success, successful women in leadership positions will probably trigger you. That is just the truth. It's human nature. So I want you to think right now, think in your mind, maybe you're on a run right now, maybe you're driving in your car right now, Maybe you're listening as you're doing the dishes right now. I don't know, whatever you're doing right now, but just take for a moment, just take a pause for a moment. And I want you to just tune in and think about the last woman that really triggered you. What was the last person that really triggered you? And I want you to just look at what inspires you about that woman. Get curious. What does she have that you might desire? Very interesting, right? Make this real for yourself. So it's like stop, drop, get curious about what inspires you and get curious about the desire underneath it. There's a Huna saying, bless that which you want. So if you want more wealth and you have one of those, badass, new cars pull up beside you, bless that car, bless that person driving that car, bless that house that you're driving by that's worth $5 million. Bless it and say, wow, I would love to have some of that. If you want more health and vitality, that's something that I'm working on personally in my life right now. I want to feel healthier. I want my clothes to look awesome on me. I'm going to bless the women that have that going on instead of trying to tear them down or be like, yeah, but that part of their life isn't so great, blah, 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 to try to make myself feel better. No, I'm going to let them inspire me, right? If you want an incredible romantic relationship, maybe a beautiful, healthy marriage in your life, or to attract that soulmate, bless every couple you see that you can see is wildly in love with each other. Bless them. Bless that which you want. That, my dear one, is a practice that I want all of us Amy Ahlers show listeners to be doing, and it will really transform your life. And guess what? The next time a really beautiful woman walks into a party and you can feel that urge, walk right up to her, introduce yourself and say, oh my gosh, you are just stunning. You are just a ray of sunshine. Wow. When you walked into the room, I was like, this woman has it going on. Go and compliment that woman authentically and watch the magic that unfolds. It's amazing when we can really be an advocate for other women and really congratulate that woman on her promotion. Be like, whoa, your Tesla is freaking awesome, right? So start being a woman's woman. Start being one of those women that cheers other women on. And not only will you discover more sisterhood, like authentic, connected sisterhood in your life, but you will also discover that more of that goodness gets attracted into your own life. All right, my darlings, so that's it. I loved having you tune in to the Amy Ahlers Show. And as always, if this has inspired you, share it with your friends. Let other women that you know and love that are ready to stop being so hard on themselves to tune into the Amy Ahlers Show. One of the biggest compliments that you can give me is to go on over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review the show. It really does help other women find the show. I so appreciate that. And I always love hearing from you. You can always email me at amy@wakeupcallcoaching.com. And as I mentioned, I just did this incredible keynote over at Charles Schwab. I've been doing a lot more speaking now that my youngest daughter is in the preschool phase instead of the baby phase. So if you're interested at all in having me come into your organization, you can check out my site, amyahlers.com/speaking-engagements. And all of these links are, of course, in our show notes. So with that, until next time, sending you off with so much love. Keep embracing the messiness and the magic of life. Much love.